Welcome to Sarah's Law Firm. I'm Sarah Ostahowski, and today I wanted to take a moment to talk about ladybird deeds. We get questions about ladybird deeds here all the time, and they come in multiple different ways. Sometimes people call us because they have a loved one that is applying for Medicaid and are told, you need a ladybird deed. Others have heard the term and they come in and say, what's that ladybug thing and what is it that I need to do with it? And still others will just hear it from a friend and say, well, I got this ladybird thing done and everything's going to be fine. So what in the world is it? A ladybird deed is a type of deed that allows us to transfer the interest in your property after you pass away. It's kind of like putting a beneficiary on a bank account or a life insurance policy. What the deed does is it says, I'm giving, let's say your house. I'm going to give my house from myself to myself for my lifetime. So obviously you can stay there as long as you live. But coupled with that, you also have an unrestricted power to convey, which means you can deed the house somewhere else, you can sell it, you can mortgage it, you can do whatever you want to with it. If you don't do anything with it before you pass away, then it can automatically go to those that you've listed as beneficiaries. So let's use an example. Husband and wife come in and they want their house to transfer to their 3 children when they pass away. Say, great, what we can do is a ladybird deed. It says that the house will go from you to you for your lifetime. Plus you have an unrestricted power, so you can still sell it and deed it and do anything you want to with it. If you don't do anything with it, we'll list your 3 children as beneficiaries on the deed. You go ahead and sign that deed and we file it right now, which means it's taken care of. What happens when you pass away? Well, the kids would have to take the death certificates and put them on file at the Register of Deeds. That would automatically transfer the property to the children. Now, here's where things can get a little bit tricky. Once the property is transferred to those 3 children, they all own it equally, which means they all have equal rights in the property. So if you have one child that wants to sell, and one child that doesn't want to sell, and one child that's already moved into the house and isn't talking to anyone, now you have a problem. So using these deeds can be a really great method of transferring property, but you need to be aware of some of the issues that can pop up when you use that deed. And that's what our job is here. When a client comes in to meet with us, we tell them, our job is to look at everything that can go wrong and see if you care. If you care, we'll fix that problem. If you don't care, well, at least you looked at it and said, yes, that could happen. And if it does, I don't care. Or my kids are going to have to deal with that. If my kids don't get along and they're all 3 going to fight over that house and make it difficult, that's their problem and not mine. That's just fine. Others will say, you know what, you're right, that could happen. The 3 kids could start to fight over it. So how do I fix that? And then we can go through some other options. But make sure when you're sitting down and talking to an attorney or someone about doing a ladybird deed that you really walk through the scenarios of what happens if. What happens if the kids can't decide about selling it? What happens if one of the children dies first? There's lots of different things to look at. Also, putting kids on as a beneficiary on a deed is not the same thing as putting them on as a joint owner on your house. I don't recommend you put the kids on as a joint owner in 99% of the circumstances. What that means is I own my house together with my child. So if I want to sell my house, half the proceeds go to my child, who is also an owner in the home. So it doesn't quite work the way people think. They'll put a child on the house and then they want to sell it or do something else. And that kid says, nope, I don't want to sell and I'm half owner. So too bad for you. Again, my job is to look at everything that can go wrong. And I always like to look for the good in people. But these are some of the things that we see come through our office. One other thing to know about a ladybird deed is we use it a lot when we are looking at doing Medicaid planning. So someone that is needing nursing home care, and we're looking at different ways to be able to pay for that care. Quite often when you are eligible for Medicaid, the only asset that's left for the most part is the house. And they want to be able to transfer that house to their kids. An easy way to do that is through the ladybird deed. And that also protects the house from the state of Michigan being able to take it after you pass away. So if you have any questions about this, we are always here to help, or contact your local attorney. We're in Michigan, so if you are outside the state of Michigan, then you probably have some form of ladybird deed. It might be called something different, a beneficiary deed or transfer on death or something like that. But reach out and ask the questions. If we can be of service, please don't hesitate to contact us. Sarah's law firm is located in Alma, Shepherd, Clare, and Gaylord, and we travel all over the state of Michigan, and we do a lot of video conferencing as well. So again, if we can be of service, let us know. Have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoy the little bit of fall that we're seeing out there right now.